Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Saturday episode of Shedding Your Skin. Obviously, I'm not at Tinley, uh, but as always, support US Arc. And if you're shipping reptiles, use the code Robin60 on Redline shipping. Good for your first two shipments, 60% off of the retail rate. Anyway, so I got Ken backstage, so I'm gonna bring him out. Hoping to have Justin here, but apparently he, despite wanting to come on, missed the time, missed the link. I don't know, whatever. But anyway, here's Ken. So we're going to be here hanging out with y'all, talking about what's going on this year, that sort of thing.
Don't you know already if Justin comes on, he's going to be about 10, 15 minutes late? That's his thing, dude. Like, that's just his thing.
Eating dinner. Hey, Ken, are you watching me while you're on here?
I turned it down.
Okay.
As soon as I heard volume, I turned it down.
I heard it. Okay, what's good? Rudy, thanks for tuning in. Ken, you're here. Tommy, thanks for tuning in. I sent Tommy the link. He's got a family gathering, so unfortunately he can't join us, for fear of familial retribution. That's good. Who else here? Rob, of course.
What up, Rob?
Me being late. All right, we got Benevolent Reptiles. Thanks for tuning in. All right, we got
what up, Benevolent?
We got Vance. Thanks for tuning in.
It's the zombie dude.
So I finally figured out what is going on with Ken's head. He's wearing a headband.
It's just a simple headband. I mean, I don't know. There's nothing going on. Just a headband.
No, I mean, like on my other end, like watching on my phone, it looked funny. Like you had this green screen thing going on, and then this.
Now it gets all messed up. I'll leave it out. It's my rock star look, dude. Like I got like a rock star studio going, so I figured, dang it,
now he's got everything stuck in there.
Now it's all tangled.
That rat from a couple weeks ago stuck in there.
Yeah, my hair's pretty long. You don't really see it down, but
yeah,
it is red.
We are here, obviously not at Tinley. This always is a difficult show for me. Normally, I will do a pre-record because I'm also away when March Tinley is. But just seeing some of the stuff, KG from Bomb was just live, or may still be live on Instagram, and just seeing one like the shit Levance has. It's insane, the animals that are there.
I wanted to go real bad this year.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it worked out. Like my trip and Tinley were opposite, weekends. But I don't know. It's just a lot of money to spend, and a 3-week whatever. Me being on vacation, traveling, it's a lot to do. But the animals that are at shows like this are freaking amazing. I mean, KG showed off some of Levance's stuff. DG Hurricane Pie, DG Hurricane Clown Stranger.
Did you watch Keys last night?
I did not.
He had some guy on from Prague that would just, dude, drawer after drawer of, the rainbows that he had. I mean, the Hurricane Hypo clowns, the Hurricane DG clowns. I mean, every drawer was just like, holy shit. I mean,
right?
Wow.
What, even we saw some things when I was watching before I came on. Megaconda had a T positive albino anaconda there. KG was hoping to get the exclusive,
right,
getting it out, but I guess we have to tune in tomorrow for that. But it's like, yeah, the show is huge, right?
Go back and watch.
just the vendors that are there, the animals that are there. It's like a big trade show. If whatever your day job is, you have one of these things. Every year it's somewhere else. Traveling across the country. But I don't know. It's just like insane.
Tinley's like the Super Bowl of snakes. Like if you're anybody who's anybody, you're vending there, and if you want to stand out in a crowd, you really got to bring your A game there to stand out.
Yeah, and it's like you see the stuff that's not for sale there. I mean, that's we're cutting edge at this point, right? It's like stuff that's never been seen gets shown off there for the first time. We are unfortunate in Pennsylvania that we do not have a really, really big show in the state.
The biggest two we have is there's the run in Monroeville, the Monroeville Super Show, the Super Reptile Show in Pittsburgh, and then we have a couple down near Philly that's pretty big, but they're not NARBC ones.
Right. Hamburg is big. Was huge. One of the longest running shows ever. And we used to have an NARBC down in Philly, but for whatever reason, that went away. So we have these smaller one-day shows where we're fighting to sell clowns. You go to Tinley, one of these huge shows. It's like, man, it's like there's no bird food on any table.
Yeah, right.
Rob says if ARS is not coming to your show, it's not big AF. And I agree. I mean, I think in Pennsylvania we have too many small shows, right? And they all fight with each other. They're all, same weekend. And I would like to have one big Mid-Atlantic or Northeastern show. Again, like a 2-day, you're bringing in the names.
Let's get it set up in State College. It's right in the middle of the state, right here by me. Like I'll vend it. I'll kill it.
But I mean,
dreams.
That in Pennsylvania we have some of the best reptile regulations in the country, and we don't have a big show. You have, for instance, you got Garrett Hartle out there, Reach Out Reptiles. He's traveling to Tinley. I don't think I've seen him vend a show in Pennsylvania recently.
Right.
But he's going to Tinley. You got people that will sponsor shows, but not vend them. So I don't know. I've been advocating, talking about it. Pennsylvania, or at least somewhere, Mid-Atlantic needs a big freaking show. 2 days, bring everybody in. That's just my opinion on that. Instead, we got 57 small guys having 8 shows the same damn day, from county to county. And now I don't mean to hate on the shows that we have in Pennsylvania. Oaks is great.
They're nice.
Hamburg's great. Gettysburg's great.
I like that little Bloomsburg show they've been doing.
That was nice. Nice and small. Definitely room to expand. Centrally located ish in Pennsylvania, but not near a major metropolitan. So in PA we have Allentown, Philly, Pittsburgh, and somewhere in the middle of the state out by you, maybe.
We have one in Altoona, but it's a wash. That thing is just honestly, there's more hots in that little show in Altoona than there is ball python. You have 10 hot breeders that set up in a little show, or a little side room, and that room's got some heat. Then you got your ball python breeders and your vendors that are selling supplies in the other room, and it's just I'm a ball python breeder, and I don't even spend time looking at the ball pythons because everything's being sold there. I have better than, so it's just I don't even really look there.
Right, and most of these are all ball python breeder shows. I can speak from vending and being there, and we're all selling the same stuff.
I'm trying to go a little different.
So what's the race to the bottom there? At some point, clowns are going to be $50.
Yeah, I mean, that was being said like a year ago that clown's the new normal. And now you're seeing the normal clown drop down to what the normal price was. And that's not surprising. But I mean, you get into some of these like Trident clowns, these clowns that you don't see, or even Trojan. Because I get Trojan and Trident mixed up. Like the names are so close together, but they are different genes. But even the Trojan clown, there's not many of them out there, so that's what's going to bring in the dollar, the rarity of what's out there.
I mean,
I feel, anyways.
Yeah, one of the issues I think that has happened is that, and a bunch of other people have talked on this. We had an influx of new people a couple of years ago, right? So that caused the big breeders to produce more. So now, not only is there more ball pythons out there in general, more people were buying them. Prices got shot up, but now we're seeing the results of that. We're all producing the same stuff, and something that was hot a year ago,
it's way overproduced.
It's pennies now because everybody overproduced it because they weren't going their own way, or they you see Batman now, and you get them for a couple $100. I mean, that's crazy for a male, like $350, and somebody's going to sell it. So, where I'm at, it's like, look, we can all race to the bottom, right? And we're never going to get everybody on the same page.
Nah, I don't think we can get on the same page ever. No.
But when your codom stuff, your recessive stuff reaches the point of like that market accepted value of $20 for a normal, that's where we run into issues. And they're expecting everything to eat whatever rodent, they can get. If you're feeding ASF, this thing better eat frozen thawed rats, readily. It just bugs the hell out of me. The amount of stuff we have on the breeder side now for, a significant, reduction in what our ROI is for, pastels, for, even lace now. I don't even know if I can sell this almost breeder size male for $100. Last year, $250 easily.
Yeah.
Shit,
you can get $250 out of it. Yeah.
This year, it's just insane. And now it's like, okay, now we want to, what are the hats? Did you shed test? Well, yeah, it's going to cost me $50 for one. Okay, now
I mean, I put that lace het orange ghost out there, and I mean, there isn't even a het attached to it. No, it's orange ghost, and I think that's a little bit more desirable than hypo. I mean, I had like maybe 2 people inquire about it. Like, I got something worked out with Pat from North Florida Cold Blood. Nice. But I mean, it wasn't like I thought it was going to be. I mean, lace was popular. I thought people was just going to be lining up.
Oh, well, everybody a couple of years ago got on Lace Gang, and I'm literally looking at when I bought him, and I got him for $65. It was a freaking steal, right? Right. And unfortunately, I had a bunch of other better males where he doesn't fit. Even if lace can be good in combos, I'm not going to take that chance, making, pastels maybe with lace, or, het pieds and, lace het pieds. It doesn't make any sense for me to do that when I can make, pied double het hypo clowns.
Right.
I'd rather.
I mean, you could use it as like just something you work genes into. Use it as a snake, say if you're working, like DG, DG hypo, so go find a hypo het DG female, grow it up, and put that lace to it, and get the lace gene, so you have it, make a female, and then you can work it in.
Time, if I'm having a hypo het DG girl, I'm going to be taking my blackhead leopard, possible super leopard, desert ghost, possibly het pied, possibly het hypo, and putting it to her. Like that's where I'm at right now with some of these males that I just got recently. It makes no sense to have a freaking single gene codon.
You got to have a plan. You got to have a plan.
Yeah, back then it worked. You know, I had clown stuff I could put them to, I had ultramel stuff I could put them to, but now I have better males. That it just makes
You
no
don't
sense.
see lace ultramel. I haven't seen one.
Um, yeah, but again, that female is still going to a much more
Yeah,
powerful
I get it.
recessive male. Either way, whether it's the DG one or the hypo clown one. So at the time it was like, oh yeah, get into lace, and then it's like, well, when you sit back and look at things, right now I could sell every male besides two, provided these guys would prove out for their heads and prove out breeding.
The
I
prophecy,
wouldn't need anything else
right?
for a while. I
That's
could
what
just
I'm
throw
kind
a
of set up
hanger.
to do. Once I start creating and these things start dropping, I'm creating what I need to advance. So my additions are going to be more or less codoms that I want to add to the projects.
Right. So for me, like say, I really like Bongo right now. I like what it does in con. I like what it does in Ultramel. But the only way I'm going to add Bongo right now in this very moment, it's going to be a proven breeder Bongo combo, hopefully het for something or visual something. It's the only way it makes sense, because that means if it's a Bongo het Ultramel with some codoms, that means I can put an Ultramel het pied to it, make visual Ultramels, possibly het for pied. That's the way I think you have to start looking at things.
Right.
And yeah, do we want stuff to have on our tables? Do we want to have inventory? Sure, I get that 100%. You want to have stuff to sell, but I'm at the point now where it's like I'm not just going to be making stuff to sell.
Right.
After this year, I'm done with that. I'm done with making the visually pretty stuff if I hit it, the bells and whatnot. I'm out of that. I've invested money here, and I want to see where this goes with these multi-recessive projects, and I don't want to have a whole hatchling rack full of, pastaves.
Right.
I got 3 snakes right here, 2 male pastels and a female leopard pastel, and they're available. They're still for sale. I haven't posted them anywhere, so I haven't done any, much effort because, they're not taking up much space or much food. I have a pastel, juvenile, and a lace, almost breeder size male. Those are the 5 snakes available. But I'm sure next year, plenty more will be, on the chopping block, because I gotta be smart about what I'm doing, be smart about my pairings. And in my opinion, if you aren't hitting or have the chance to hit like double visual stuff with some codoms in the next year or two, with the things that are widely available, clown, pied, hypo,
What's up, Jeremy?
That sort of stuff. What are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? You're spinning your tires. You're not going to go nowhere.
I mean, I would rather have a double visual male with no codoms than a 5 codom double het pause something. You just got to increase your odds. And thanks, Jeremy. I won it in one of his giveaways. I think 600 subscribers.
Right.
Also, I'm rocking the Nathan hat. So shout out to Nathan for designing both of these things. But yeah, I feel like we pump ourselves up on some of this lower end stuff, and we get excited. And I'm there. You're there. We have the potential to hit something this year, but at the end of the day, if it's double head to double head, the odds really aren't in our favor.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you're, I'm trying to build allelic combos into recessive, so I mean, I like my allelic combos for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, we were talking the other day about like cryptic clown and crypton.
Mm-hmm.
You have to work your project in such a way that you know what you're going to hit. right?
Yeah, the only way to do that is to work clown with krypton, because then you're not going to make a clutch where there's going to be a chance of cryptics and kryptons. So you got a krypton, whether it's male or female, you put the opposite, sex, a clown, because then you're going to make clowns and then you're going to make kryptons. You don't have a chance to hit cryptics to say, is that a krypton or is that a cryptic?
Right. So that's something like even with the stuff in the yellow belly complex, right? So if I put a highway to a super gravel,
yep,
I know what I'm hitting, right? I'm hitting super gravels and highways.
Yep.
There's no YB or gravel or yellow belly asphalt, whatever the hell it is, and I think we need to start moving that way. Because
that's the way I'm moving.
On our end as breeders, it's going to be less expensive because we don't have to test as much.
And then you know what's in the animals. You don't got to guess. You're not selling people stuff that this other gene's going to pop up in.
Right. I mean, sometimes that happens, right? Hypo or some hats get missed somewhere, when they don't have visual markers. And I understand that. I mean, I bought a
what up, Mick?
That DG boy, and apparently now he's possibly head for hypo, and it's just kind of insane that popped up. That collection's crazy to begin with. It was a leopard combo, DG to another DG, and popped out pies, and now hypo stuff, or head hypo stuff.
From what came out last year out of that het clown head hypo clutch, all the cool females proved out hypo, so I got lucky as crap. Like, thank you, Charlie, for the testing. And then I actually have him testing the non-visual clowns for cryptic because they look so dang weird. They don't look like anything that I know that I could find out there.
Yeah, you have that one that is like, I want to say it's a clown, but it's not.
Yeah, is it a clown?
Clowny for it to scream.
And then the other one, I mean, Chris made a point. He hatched one and he said it's just leopard Mojave. But then you look at other leopard Mojaves and they look nothing like it. So then it's like, all right, well, what's going on in this? Like, why are these leopard Mojaves looking this way and these ones not? I mean, I get it. Polymorphism, genes do different things, and maybe it's just those two lines of leopard and Mojave make the snake look like this. But I think there's something more. There's got to be something more going on.
Yeah. So what's crazy, with leopard, right? Now we'll bring her out. She did just eat, but there's two different lines, right?
Yeah, there's different lines of leopard. Yep.
You have this stripy looking thing, right? So back in the day, this used to be, it was hat pied. Guys, wait, hold on. So nobody liked leopards back then, but it's just kind of crazy how one codom can tag another recessive along the way.
I'm still here. I just turned my camera off quick.
So when you're dealing with leopard, don't be surprised if pied shows up. She's in the shed. But the other line, the not pied line of leopard, obviously pastel, but yeah, it's just crazy how with certain things pop up. And you want to knock on people for not being able to identify stuff. People have hatched out triple visuals from single visual animals. So we obviously they miss it. So don't get on us for missing it. And when you have things in pattern reduction and whatnot, you can totally miss things. So you might get something that's got something else in it. Breed and find out.
Right. Before I had a clutch,
butter, I mean, that's going to be hard to, sort of see.
Before I had a clutch, I was all confident. Like, yeah, I'm going to be able to ID these things. It's going to be easy. You just got to research and look and see what it makes, and you'll be able to tell. No, not at all. Not even a little bit.
So, what I will say to that point is, when you can visually see it. Not, I don't mean on a screen, right? Yeah, we can watch YouTube, we can watch stuff like this until the cows come home, right? We can see all these bangers, but until you can actually see them with your own eyes in person, you're not going to notice some, nuanced things that, you do in person. So I think, once you get your hands on certain genetics, once you can visually see them in your racks, you're going to be much better at identifying certain things because you work with these snakes all the time. It's not like, well, it has a little tip here, a little bit there, and it's like, well, I don't see what you're talking about on the YouTube or Instagram or whatever, or you've set it up in a way where you're taking videos and pictures with much better clarity than my eyes can even see. Props to people who know how to work in camera, work lighting, but if it's not what my generic eye can see, when I see it, when I hold it, that picture doesn't do that snake justice at the end of the day. I get you want to promote yourself, promote these animals, and sell them and make them look visually appealing, but at the end of the day, what's it look like in garbage light?
Right.
What can I see with my naked eye?
I get it. Yeah.
And you might have something that, oh yeah, that's definitely hip pied. Well, if pied was never there, or that of, don't say it ever was. Prove it out, or get it shed tested. And we have this thing now, shed testing. It's kind of cool, right? And we got to build that in. And at this point, a pause head is garbage, right? It's not adding it's not adding anything to a double visual pause head. Test it out. It's double freaking visual. Test it out as a freaking breeder, because I'm gonna do that. I have a double visual that is a pause head, and I'm gonna test it out, and I get that the guy didn't because he's an old school guy, and the combo is
get it.
Not expensive, but at the end of the day, I'm still going to pay that $50 gladly because, if it proves out, that's a Kodam double visual.
Right.
And that works with everything because it's pied.
Yeah, sure
it links my Ultramel, links my DG. Oh, yeah, man. It's going to be exciting. But I do get it. If you're get a 66%, whatever, one of them wonky clutches where it's that's a 66%, triple head. Well, it could also be a normal. So if it's a male, I do get not testing that. But when you get to the upper echelon of some of these animals, it should be tested.
What I don't like is people want you to pay for that extra pos het. Like if you look on Morph Market, like I've been looking for a het sunset female, and you type in pos het clown because I'm trying to get that pos het for free because they don't know, and they want to charge you like $500 for a pos het. I think that's bullcrap.
Why?
Test it, and then charge that.
So, there's certain recessives that are still not old enough where I think you might be able to get away with that, with upcharging for that. But
it ain't even pos het sunset; it's pos het clown.
Right. But at the end of the day, if you're looking for a breeder het sunset, well, that's going to run you like $1,000, something like that.
Female
adding that pos head, the gamble's still there.
Right.
If it's $1,000 snake, I would test it, not upsell. But, again, we have multiple generations of people in this hobby where it's, oh, you bought it, I'm going to ship it out tomorrow. Or, oh, shed testing, what's that? Why make me spend more money?
Right. Well, if you want that price for it, then test it.
Yeah, and you're wondering
exactly, Warful. Exactly. I don't think you should test for pos hets unless you're going to test it and then up the price because you tested it.
Because ideally, in that situation, say I have 6 eggs, I'm going to pay $300 to test them. Whatever proves out to be 100% het is going to get the higher value, and the other, it should wash out in the sale of the snake, or at least make sure that you're pricing things where you've accounted for that variable. Sure, I hell, with some of the stuff I produce, like everything's pos het something because there's a pos het somewhere else down the road. It may be here, but his grandfather was a pos het. It's like no. Sorry, this is becoming more of a Kent rant show with Ken's input.
I'll throw in my comments when needed.
Well, I mean, yeah, depending on what the clutch is, obviously, like if I have pos het in a female, and that's the one I want to hold back and test for that. Maybe not so much the males, depending on what it is, but like we said in Jeremy, like you said in the group chat, once it hits a certain value, it's almost incumbent upon us to shed test it, so we're not selling false hope, things like that.
Right.
Here's a visual DG pos het, something, and if it's not there, it's not there. Oh, here he is, finally. Welcome.
Told you, dude.
What up?
Man, only took you half an hour.
That's about as normal.
I'm doing my had a surprise phone call, so I'm doing my drunken brother today. So been one of those days for me.
Hey, I got one of them.
He's a pain in the ass sometimes. Is really more or less what I say, but it is what it is. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it, right? So
my brother will call me pretty tuned up, and it's like 45 minutes later. It's like, all right, hey, I gotta go, and then it's another 45 minutes before you could actually get him off the phone. I get it.
And at the end of the conversation, you've gotten actually nowhere from the beginning.
His mom called me like, please come pick him up. So I had to go pick his drunk ass up, and now he's back there, and I had to put his ass to sleep. I was like, you're going to fuck a bed, bro. So he's now back there laying down in the bedroom. So
such a good guy. You're such a good guy, Justin.
I was like, I ain't dealing with your shit. You ain't coming to my house and driving me crazy today. So whatever, Boomhauer. Go back there and lay down.
What are you talking about, man? Go back there and lay down.
But yeah, it's been me ranting about shed testing, putting good things out there. Tinley FOMO, we can't be there with the awesome animals. And in Pennsylvania, we don't have a show like that. So
no, vodka.
Definitely KG had a live going earlier. I don't know if he still does, but was showing some cool stuff, like some Ultramel puzzle stuff. I mean,
oh my God,
it was just insane. Yeah, it was just insane, some of the stuff that was being shown. I was like, holy shit. And I think Bob Vu bought a $75,000 snake there too as well. Spent $75K on one snake. Like, here, this one's sold. It's mine. But
wow.
That guy that made that snake is freaking having him a nice dinner steak tonight, steak dinner tonight.
Right.
So let's say.
He's paying for drinks at dinner. What are you talking about?
Right?
Well, hell, KG was like, hey, you spend, enough, you can, you can buy a brand new truck, or you can buy these two snakes and make, DG clown pies with codons.
Correct. I mean, at the end of the day, you're gonna make money. He'll probably honestly. No, Babu, he's gonna make that obviously, and a lot of some, So you gotta think about how he looks at his future with that. He ain't gonna buy a $75,000 snake just it's a way in a win. Sorry,
right.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I forget what the hell it was. DG something that he bought right before the pandemic, and he made $250,000 off that one snake. Like, that's insane.
That's life-changing money to me. If I make $250,000 off of one snake, that's like life-changing money to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
You do it. It's like I said, just invest into the right animal. So I tell these people, any of you guys can do it. Just invest into the right thing. It's all investment in it. This shit's like stocks. Just invest in the right one, and it's gonna fucking bring you back some. Be smart with it. Ask your mentors. Ask people Ken, both of you guys definitely got your head on your shoulders. You know what you're doing. So at the end of the day, that's all it is. Just take a little bit of money, get on a payment plan with somebody or whatever, and you buy you something outrageous, and it's gonna make you a shit ton of money down the road. You never know. So
yeah, I mean, I never thought of me getting into Sunset. I might have an opportunity to, down the road, just
nice.
Because I can.
Yep.
And with what I would work into Sunset, it's why not?
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
you know, making hypoclown het sunsets possibly het for pied.
Heck yeah.
It makes sense for me to buy a breeder female.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then, you know, wait a little bit because, you know, we've only seen what double visual sunset stuff right now.
Yeah, there's really no codom stacked in it. There's might be the double visuals out, but what codoms are in it?
So, I mean, even
What's up, Angel?
give me 3 years to grow up a female to put, you know, to put a male back to. I'll take that gamble for what, $3,000 right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely, I'd take that gamble. I'd take that gamble. So I don't know.
I mean, even if there's no codoms in there, the odds are shitty. But you know, a triple het to a triple het, you're going to be hitting clown hypos, you know, sunset hypos, you know, clown sunsets, you know, possibly everything. You know, you got to be thinking that way, and that's just in, you know, one collection, a couple animals held back from it. You know, so everything I'm looking to do here is, you know, visual het to the opposite visual het, or you know, something similar, or double visual to, you know, visual het, just to sort of expand, work everything together. Yeah,
Boost
I mean,
your stop.
You got to spend some money. You have to spend it in the right animals, and always be increasing the odds of you making better animals. You know, that's where I'm at right now.
Right.
And with shed testing, whew.
So wait, Ken, what do you have over there, sunset het wise?
Oh, me?
Yes.
Well, I didn't buy it yet. I just have an opportunity to get in.
So what would you need for? So is that a female you're picking up or a male you're picking up?
So I would pick up probably a breeder sunset female.
Female. Okay. What does it have in it? My next.
It doesn't have to have anything into it because I can put stuff into it.
No, what does it have in it? Is it just sunset?
Yeah, it would just be sunset.
Okay. Well, I have a male coming from KG that I could send your way. You could have.
All right. Yeah, I just got to see, you know, what's available. I have the option or ability to get a het sunset breeder,
and he's a double het sunset clown male on top of that.
But my whole idea with that, even if it's just working codoms into sunset, I can take the most banger ass male I have. All I need to do is produce one with all those genes as a male,
right
back in. Now, obviously, you know, it's going to be like a blackhead leopard DG that is the banger male, or you know, something like that. So, you know, I'm able to have good odds to hit sunsets with codoms, or you know, in any recessive. You know, the breeder females are the way to go, you know, in my opinion, to have better odds in getting, you know, a ROI. Yeah, obviously a breeder male is you can work it to many more females. But now, if I don't have that on the female side, I'm waiting 3 years to grow it up to breed.
Well, that's more or less my thought of it. Like you get that female, you get the male from me that's a het sunset het clown. Throw it there, hit your visuals, hopefully hit some female visuals, hold those back, and then you got now 3 or 4 more females for the whole project. Throw what you want into it, and then you're producing a whole bunch of other shit down the road as well, you know?
Yeah.
I think future like that more or less is how I think about it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us, we see, you know, the shiny red ball. We see this new gene. We see the, you know, for me with lace, it's what I bought it for. I thought I was a steal. Now it's, well, maybe I'll get money back. Maybe. Without adding any lace into my collection, you know, through breeding, just because it doesn't have a fit. So yeah, don't do those impulse buys. Make targeted buys. You know,
absolutely.
So if, like, I got red stripe recently, but it's, you know, in a you know, it's an entry butter red stripe. Yeah, well, it's a visual recessive. Yeah, it's going to take 3 years to grow her up, but I can make more of her now with, more heads. So, if you got that shiny red ball gene, that codom, get it with other things.
Absolutely.
So even if you have to wait the 3 years to grow up that female, when you're pairing it, now you're still making good stuff. It's not like there's going to be a reduction in value. Like, had that just been a single gene red stripe girl, and I'm growing up next 3 years, why?
Right.
So, like I said earlier, if I want to get into like bongo, I really like what it does.
Yep.
But it's got to be a breeder female at the least for me to consider adding. Yeah, well,
I told you not to buy that lace male.
Yeah, and if I remember, it was my post-COVID birthday celebration, and I saw it for $65 and bought it. And Jeremy said, "Don't buy it." So now I'm eating my words. I mean, honestly, he could sit here for a couple more years, but I'm feeding him is not really doesn't really have a purpose. So if somebody can use him for $100 while shipping, by all means, put him into your projects. I just don't. I mean, I'm at the point right now where I'd buy a codom lace clown.
Right.
Yeah.
He was excited. I remember when
I'm
he
about to
introduced
change
it.
his damn shirt now, Jeremy.
I have to agree with Jeremy on that. I
I
remember that video when you came out with that. You was like, "Look at this! I got this lace male." Like, yeah,
yeah, that
And
was
now you
11
wanna
months
sell it.
ago.
Now you want to sell it.
Now it's down there with pastel. It's like, what the hell? Thanks, guys.
I wouldn't say it's that low. Come on now.
It's not that low.
It
Definitely
ain't that
not
bad.
low.
It's a male.
Well, it is a
that
male.
low.
That's the only downfall. I mean, you have to put it to a fire ass female for sure to,
okay, so I do have females that I could put him to, where it would work out to be, an ideal situation. I'm making multi-codon lace het somethings to go put back to the female. But I just have so much better males that it makes absolutely no sense for me to not pair them to, a 3-gene visual clown.
I think if you don't do that, one day you're going to kick yourself in the butt for not working lace into your projects and getting those snakes to work.
Why? I can buy a breeder female lace.
All right, 2 years from now. Buy one. Go buy one. But I'm just saying, you can make your own.
I do get what you're saying too on that, Ken, for sure. Like,
later, Jeremy.
You can go ahead and establish it into a lot of shit and have some fire banger ass shit down the road. But also, that's, to me, I'd rather go the opposite direction with it because you're cutting less time wise. But then again, there's so many routes, and it's like plumbing. There's so many different routes you can go with it, and it could all be correct.
If I buy a lace clown female right now,
right,
breeder, that does many more things than this male.
Facts.
Right. But you can put that nail to it.
Lace
get white lace. Get white lace hats. White lace hats are cool.
That's the way I'm looking at it. Okay, now am I going to go buy a breeder female just for this lace male? No. Because whatever that breeder female I'm buying is going to have something better I can pair to it, and it makes much more sense to freaking pair.
Right.
One of those other males to.
What project would you want lace in? Like, what project would you want to work it in?
I mean, I do like, white lace clowns. I like that stuff. But, at the end of the day, I'd rather be making, codom hypo clowns, codom DG clowns, where I have the chance to hit double visuals, codom DG pies. I'd rather
all of them.
Yeah, use what I have here to make those things than, I'm gonna take this year off because I have this multi-codom clown. I'm gonna put the lace to it, make hats. Well, why would I do that when I can make freaking visual clowns and hypo.
Yeah, right. I get it.
And then 3 years, okay, wait, now I have that male that is double visual, and I can put that back together. Now I'm making all, hypo clowns, possibly hypo clown pies.
See, that gene's so nice. I just feel it's worth working into certain things because lace is a really nice gene. And it does some really nice stuff.
I mean,
like, was it lace?
I'm
was
not
it special lace clown? Special lace clown is fucking fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got some pretty heat out there in lace wise. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to just go hypo either. You can go clown and a bunch of other shit. Special spot nose, you know, leopard, whatever, you know. Like, you can still make some codoms out there that's gonna be pretty sick ass shit.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure if I added like 40 more snakes, totally, it might make sense there where I don't have to target my pairings. But here I have to target.
I get what you're saying. You got a smaller collection. You got more stronger males, so you would rather make, you know, the more genes and then just putting lace into one project. I get it.
Yeah. I will say this. Probably next year or the following year, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 males, breeders, most of them proven, gone.
Right.
Once the stuff over here is grown up, gone. No use for them. They're not making me anything better than I already have. So, you know, there's gonna be even some of these females gone because the holdbacks are better. Holdbacks give me better odds, even when I miss.
Well, hold on to your females until your hatchlings get big enough. Just don't sell out your females.
Oh, no. I mean, don't sell a breeder till you have another proven one to follow up. I get that. KG says that shit all the time. But like, I got a pastel female here growing up. Good line. But again, the only thing I can do with her is make heads. No point.
All right. No point. I get it.
Especially for when at the end of the day, if I miss, or even if they are, you know, I don't miss and I make my heads and they're males, they're still visual pastels. $20. I get two. Actually, somebody, you know, we'll call it $125 plus shipping. I will send 5 snakes to you.
Anyone want to get started? There's a good
3
start
males,
for you.
2 females. You can breed the male lace, but you know, hell, I mean, I might even take shipping for all those at this point. You pay shipping, you get them. Because that's how far we've driven this low end market down.
Right.
You have people listening to, you know, YouTube, things like that. Pastel's a discount gene. Well, now everything with pastel and it becomes a discount gene, even if it's a good line and a good combo.
See, I was one of those guys that hated on pastel for the longest time. But the more that I'm into this, the more snakes you see that pastel look good in.
It has its place.
This has pastel. It's got 2 other codons in it. But still,
I still like how pasty that snake looks, how cream it looks, more or less, should I say.
Oh, no, now it might have some granity in here. No, that's just a pastel. I'm being a dick.
Yeah. But see how light that belly is, how like it goes from white to a cream color. I hate how pastel does that to a lot of snakes, you know, like
right, but you add in hypo to this. You add in DG to this.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. It has
now we're talking. So you know,
we're talking
on it, but you don't have the right other ingredients to put together. He's in shed. And thankfully he's in shed. Because I need to, you know, test him. But again, another pastel clown. I mean, not double visual, but
see how pasty it is? That's where it throws me off. Like, I love it. It looks good, but to me, that's where I'm like, I
mean, this one's also about to shed. So, but again, pastel clown, double visual, albeit, but you know, and then you have, you know, acid pastel that works.
Popsy over here, put some HRA in it.
I really want to comment.
The other gene.
No, I'm nice to him.
We start to call that the other gene because when we say that enough time, you show up like Beetlejuice.
We didn't
say HRA 3 times.
We didn't even say it.
Now, when we were talking about special, did Angel show up? I want to say it's about that time.
Yeah, I mean, it was around that time.
You know, hey, if we say Ultramall enough times, maybe Jaffe will show up. Yeah.
Jaffe.
Sorry. But yeah, certain things work together, certain things don't. But don't let one gene discourage you from buying an animal.
Right.
Yeah, I have a double visual. It's got pastel in it. Big deal. Doesn't mean everything that snake produces is going to have pastel.
Well, I got that super pastel het clown het sunset. Everything I put into it, pastel's coming out. So, I mean, I'm going to have all kinds of pastels here because I put that thing to everything.
Yeah, but I mean, in the right female, it could work.
Yeah, and I'm going to make it work.
On the line of pastel.
I'm going to make it work. I'm going to make it work.
That's a male you have, though, Ken, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so I mean, that's literally everything, you know. Even if it's on the female side, but you know, the female side, it's contained to that one clutch. Male side, it's now everything.
Yeah, I put it to like 5 or 6 different snakes, so I might have a lot of pastel this year.
Have fun.
That's all right, Ken. That's all right. Fuck it.
But every visual clown I get, every visual one is going to get tested for het sunset, and the more females I hit, the better situation I'm in.
You're building your head army, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're building your head army, and you're preparing yourself for the future, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I don't care how many pastels I get. I mean, I'm hoping for a lot of them because then that means that male sired that clutch, because I have a lot of split clutches going with that because he's super pastel, and I don't have pastel anywhere else. So everything that comes out pastel, I know it's that one. I know it's that one. Everything else.
Everything's coming out pastel.
I'd actually be curious to see what that super pastel sunset clown would look like.
It might not look that bad.
I mean, it's either going to look amazing or
it won't look like a turd.
Like, that's what I can't stand about some of these things. It's like, man, if it can disrupt the pattern enough in the sunset and, you know, or bring it back.
I don't mind a super pastel clown. I don't mind a killer clown. It's nice.
No, it's not bad. It's not bad.
But. Yeah, but I mean, it's super bright. And it's gonna, fade out. And I get that. Especially when you're working like in hypo and DG, stuff that's gonna, pull apart the contrast.
That's my question with sunset is what is it? And that's the most valuable question with sunset period is it might look great as a baby, but what is that snake gonna look like later on? Because later on,
you gotta find that right combo.
Hey, I
changes. You can get.
I will show you.
Snake, like it's just crazy.
There are what? Maybe pies look good as adults, depending on what's in them. But I will tell you, there is only one ball python. When it is an adult, it looks as amazing as it does as a baby, and that is the good old classic. Not faded out.
He has a point.
Out the damn egg.
He has a point.
Right? Not blushed out, not faded, not dookie, not browned out.
Now there's some ODs out there. There's some other shit out there that it looks great as it ages, So
I mean, there's some things that are gonna look, all right. But I mean, when you say, oh, it looks like shit as an adult, most snakes look like shit as an adult when they're amazing hatchlings.
Right.
It happens. The snakes get bigger, the scales spread out. You got your pixelation and all that stuff, adding to the contrast.
I don't hear people saying mahogany clowns look like crap as they get older, and them things brown out and they look like a dark brown turd. It's just a dark brown turd to a light brown turd. I mean,
I did lie.
I have sunset. I can say like when it ages, though, there's some sunsets out there I've seen as an adult. I'm like, wow, like I don't know, but it's just that how it rolls, how the cookie crumbles, more or less, should I say. So
yeah. Again, another one that won't brown out. White as the day came out the egg because it's leucistic. It has no freaking.
Is that a blue-eyed Lucy?
What out these bells?
I didn't want to bring her out because she's about to go into the prelay shed. But to prove a point, it's like you talk about how they all look awesome as babies. Everything looks awesome as babies. Any animal across the thing. Humans for the most part, when we're we adjust for let's say ball python age. When we're in our teens and early 20s, we generally look pretty amazing. When we get older, we all gray out. Use Just for Men gel. Get weird haircuts.
We get dad bods, big
dad
butts.
Yep.
I mean, we get hurt sleeping the wrong way.
I got all that covered right there. It's bought and paid for, buddy.
Man, if I never took a picture of a snake I produced after 250 grams, you'd be like, man, this guy makes the best stuff on the planet.
Right?
Let's be real. Shit grows, shit ages. We got to stop talking crap on certain things. Just because at the end of the day, people are listening to this. People listen to us. People listen to, across the spectrum on, you have somewhat of a following. If you say pastel sucks, people that never heard of pastel before but want to get into ball pythons now think pastel sucks.
That's very true. That's very true.
They're never going to buy it.
Very true.
I do think you need to get your feet wet at some point breeding, certain snakes to certain snakes. I would rather, if my ROI on the end of the day in the clutch is $300 and I lose that whole clutch, I'd rather have that happen, and with bad things happening, than it could potentially be $25,000. Because I didn't know what I was doing, because I got in, I thought I could do X, Y, Z. I saw the YouTube. I didn't realize shit is different here than your place, my place, and I cook a clutch, or something happens, and I would rather be upset losing something where I'm not as excited about as something that could potentially be game changing. Now, being in it a couple of years, I'm more willing to take those risks, accept those losses. But for people just getting in, when you spend so much money on these animals and then you have a bad year, it's an immediate turnoff. Right. I mean, anybody that got in that had the year I did last year would be gone. Why bother doing it? Oh, you have 20 eggs. Well, I got 3 snakes to show for it. That sucked. To produce the stuff you want to hit and see it not make it outside the egg. It's like, man, what the hell?
Nah, it sucks.
And I like to say, I'm going to be honest with all of you. It will happen. You will have bad clutches. You're going to have things that slug out. You're going to have snakes that prolapse. Eventually it will happen to you. And if it doesn't, man, go buy a lottery ticket.
I don't like the 5 clutches I did for Adam my first year. Last year, pretty much the 5 clutches I did for him. I think we had at least 5 bad eggs, I think, damn near. And I was freaking every phone call I went to call him. He was like, God, was it my fault or this? And he would laugh every time, like, bro, it happens. Like, it's no big deal. And I'm like, God, this is going to be bad. But no,
I only had 1 bad egg last year.
Wasn't anything bad, and it was a great experience. And like I said, that was like a good quarter of my collection was not high-end snakes, and that's kind of how I started, because I wanted to get my feet wet. And I didn't want to go spend all this money and have, like you said, can't a bunch of money just end up dying on me because it's my first year and I didn't know what I'm doing, So thank God Adam stepped in and gave me all that mentorship for me to kind of be like, all right, well, let me up my game. Now I got this knowledge and I can do this and this and this. Let me try to do things a little bit different than the path I was going before, right. So.
Yeah. I mean, things will happen.
Yes.
And, luckily for most of you, all of you, people have dealt with it before.
Right.
I've had to put back in a prolapse. I've had to assist feed numerous animals.
Put back a prolapse in?
Yeah.
I thought once they prolapse, they were dead. There's nothing you could do.
No,
you could actually put it back in?
Yeah.
Someone needs to make a video on that.
So what happened was I had hatchlings on Coco last year. This was actually the girl that Darlene has. It's perfectly healthy and eating fine. So this was a girl that I was assisting for most of the whole year, right? Just wouldn't take. Finally ate. I got excited, right? Okay, 3 meals in a row. Awesome. All right, she, wants to live. Got some cocoa in her. And having her bowel movement or whatever, it pushed, she had a prolapse. Luckily, I caught it like right away because I, constantly checking on a snake like that, given her history. And Took her off cocoa, soaked her, all that stuff, massaged it back in, and it's fine. Kept her off of food for a couple of weeks, which sucked because she had just started eating on her own. But okay, now she's back on paper. Now all my hatchlings are on paper. Never gonna have that happen again, right? But yeah, it was scary. Soaking some sugar, water, things like that, and it worked. But yeah, it's scary. You definitely don't want to see that happen.
I'd freak out if I opened one of my bins and my snake's guts were laying there attached to it. I wouldn't know what the fuck to do. I'd be like, oh my God. I would freak out.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, oh boy, what? No. So one of the issues was, I could see why she was prolapsing, right? Because she had this big lump of cocoa in her. So I was able to massage that out, fortunately, and get everything back in there. But yeah, it's scary, and it happens. So I would advise, if you're keeping hatchlings, do not, even if it's a baby chip, don't keep them on cocoa. Because it can get stuck, the rat or whatever you're feeding is live, and it's going to run through the water, might get some cocoa stuck on it. Well, now your snake can potentially ingest that cocoa, and it can cause an obstruction. Luckily for this snake, it was a small enough piece that she was able to pass with some help. But I've seen other ones where, even I had a leopard pastel die a few weeks ago, perfectly fine. What it seemed like, she had a meal that was just slightly too big. I'm not looking too far into it, but just looking at how she was when she died. Yeah, that's what I think.
Stella.
Yeah, I think she's dreaming. Shh, don't say her fucking name. She's gonna wake up and come over here and ruin the show.
Leave her alone. She's a good dog.
Yeah, well, but yeah, yeah. So, like I was saying, things will happen. Fortunately for most people, everybody's dealt with it at some point. You're going to be able to get advice from people, your mentors, things like that, people that you associate with. Somebody who's bound to have dealt with something like that in the past. So that's why I love this community. People are willing to help. Somebody will message a group chat, hey, I have this, and then there's 10 responses to, well, hey, here's what you do. And most of the time it's the same response. It's just nice to have that, or
right.
It is.
Oh, thank you, Eric.
What up, Eric?
I think that was backstage though. But yeah, I think you need to look at what you're doing. As far as your pairings, progressing yourself forward, depending on what way you want to go, and you have to be honest with yourself. Yep. You're not gonna hit. If I put a ultramel pied or ultramel het pied to a pied het ultramel, I'm not gonna hit all ultramel pies. There's a chance I might hit nothing and just have double hets. So you have to, just be real with yourself. Get excited, but just be real.
Right, I get that.
Not to be a pessimist or anything like that, but if you know what the worst case outcome is, and you anticipate that, you get even more excited when it's not that, and you hit those animals. You do better than what the worst thing is, because you got to prepare for the worst. What are you going to do when you miss? How do you make up for that next year? Do you have something?
Grind it out.
Did you buy something that next year you can improve your odds? I hope that's, I practice what I preach in that regard. And I just, at the end of the day, I'm not just continually buying double visuals and never producing anything, just because I'm, constantly getting ahead of myself.
Yep. Expect the worst, and you'll never be disappointed.
Oh, that sounds like the thing from the Simpsons. But
I'll see what you meant. if you're not failing, then you're not succeeding. So, guys, if you are doing pairings and things does fail, just look at it as an obstacle that you just, you're going to learn from and take that situation as a learning experience and keep going on about it. Don't that's one thing is you got to accept failure to keep succeeding. You're like anything you do in life, you're going to fail 100 times before you actually succeed. If you do succeed the first time, just know that was luck. So
I'm totally looking at last year. I'm totally looking at last year as luck because I made some amazing animals last year. And if I could repeat that this year, I'm going to be fortunate. Like I can't believe what I hit last year. That was just awesome. And especially the cool ones were all females. So I'm like, score.
Yeah. I will say, if you are one of these lucky souls that pairs a single visual to another single visual and you pop out double visuals, go buy a damn lottery ticket. But as we move forward, I don't think that's going to be happening as much because now we have full panel shed testing, where you would know that.
Right.
Now it's going to take away from the excitement of where the hell this come from.
Well, if you don't know it's there, I mean, you could possibly, hit it. Like if you're not testing full panels and you're just testing certain genes that that's in it and you want to see where they're at, like, if you get like possible hets, like you put a het to het pairing or a double het to double het, triple het to triple het, whatever, and then you get another het in there that you don't know, I mean, it's eventually going to pop up if you keep breeding.
Yep.
Right. But with shed testing, we're taking out the experimentation part of that. It's like now we know, right. So we're not. I didn't do this pairing. Now I'm waiting 3 years to hopefully have it show up. Now it's like, okay, we know, so now we can avoid that pairing.
Yep.
If that's what we're shooting for.
Right.
So if I gotta try to think of it. So if you have, let's say, we'll use my example. So I have a DG, possible het pied, possible het hypo. I also have a visual DG, possible het hypo female. So I mean, it could, if that female's not possibly het for hypo, well, maybe I'll do something else with her. Add, DG, use something else to make that combination instead of shooting. Oh shit, I can hit double visuals off the bat, possibly het for pied. So my target, or if that male doesn't prove out, now I can sort of target where I'm putting this. And okay, I want to add this to this combo. Now I got to pair it to this animal to get that het in, so I know it's there.
Right. Absolutely.
But I feel like, when you're working with stuff like Puzzle, Sunset, Rainbow, some of these, they've been around a little bit, but not entirely worked. You sort of have to take those gambles.
Right.
Maybe see if that, 100% het from a sire shows up in the hatchlings. Regardless, I mean, if you're doing, recessive to recessive stuff, for the most part, you're holding it back, so you're going to test it anyway.
Right.
And depending on how things work out, why are you getting rid of males in certain projects? I could hit a blackhead leopard DG pied next year.
It all depends on what you have, what you get rid of. I mean, you got to plan it all out. You got to have a plan and you got to follow it. And if you hit something that's going to advance you, male or female, you got to keep it.
So I like going on Morph Market and seeing some of the stuff that I have if it's available. Can you buy it right now? If you can't buy it right now and I produce something better, why am I going to sell that male that just produces something better when there's still nothing better that you can buy on Morph Market?
Right, absolutely. Yep.
Because what's to say, I hit these, leopard blackhead DG pies next year. All right, I grow the male up. All right, he's good, double visual, awesome. I don't need necessarily the male I use to create him. Why would I sell him if there's like 4 available right now?
Right.
And give somebody that powerhouse male that's visual, possible, double het. Why give somebody else that power to sort of jump past me in the project? No, he can stay here. He's a backup now.
Exactly.
Because he's already produced this awesome animal that I have. So, I feel like people see those dollar signs right away, and they're quick to sell stuff in certain projects because, it's valuable right now to them. It's a payday.
Right.
So, yeah, let's say it's $5K today, but I can use that male to make $15K in 3 years.
If you're lucky, if it don't go down. I mean, because right now,
assuming it's going
there's
down,
a sense,
but it's a male.
Right. There's a sense
I've already
of
got females, that I was using the sire to produce, right? So, would I take that payday for $5K now, or can I use him in the future? Even if the market's going to drop on those projects a bit, I can spread it out. And then now it's 4 clutches with that male's genetics.
That's one of the biggest issues I feel in this today is, like, if you buy that recessive animal that's selling for the higher price, by the time you get it raised up, it's not selling for that higher price right now, like especially a female.
Right.
So,
right. So with that, let's say what's a sunset female cost right now?
I think you can get them for around $3-4
grand as a breeder.
I don't think you can get a breeder for $3. I think the hatchlings are $3.
Either way, something like that. Even I would take that $3 gamble right now, since there's not much working with it, with what I could do, because in the next 5 years, I can see an ROI, even though the price is going to go down on that individual, right?
But when you start working other recessives, that's where you make money.
I might not be able to sell her or her equivalent for what I bought her for in 3 years, but with what I can produce from her, I should be able to compensate myself for
if
that.
You do it right.
Correct.
If you work in other recessives and other codoms with that, you could. You got to do it right. There's a formula that works, and there's a bunch of formulas that don't. And you really got to know how to work these projects to advance yourself and get into, that tier of where people were like, man, I need to buy off of him. What's up, Ryan?
Yeah. So the only other, I do have one from Wiz 1K coming whenever I get back. But the only other thing I purchased aside from the double visual this year is a Hyde 100% Desert Ghost. Nice. Breeder size.
Nice.
Why? Because next year I can potentially be making DG Pieds with codoms.
Right.
So let's say I spent $1,500 on her right now. That clutch can, depending what I hit, what I don't hold back, even with what I miss, probably recoup, get me an ROI on there. Okay, so if it's $2K for a baby sunset visual,
maybe you might be able to get a breeder for $3K.
$2K for a baby female sunset visual. That's I would say but I mean, if you really do your research and pay attention, there's other guys out there
getting a little bit better.
Yeah, you can get it for a little bit better for sure. But I mean, right now it's fluctuating. Like I said, it depends on who you go to and which way you look for it. Definitely wouldn't be buying that off from Morph Market because it's going to definitely be high price. So
right. But if you're spending $2K now for a baby, but you spend $3K for a breeder, spend the extra $1,000, and you can use it already. And you're not waiting.
Right.
But he's speaking facts, people. He's speaking facts.
I've done this. I've been waiting for stuff to grow up. Half the time I've been doing this. It's just like, oh my God, is it ready yet? It's been 3 years. If I would have just, let's say I bought 4 snakes instead of 20, but they were breeders, I'd be ready. I'd be much better off. But at the same time, getting to know some of these snakes from being hatchlings in their cycles, all that stuff, that helps too.
Right.
So there's like, I know certain males are going to, they're breeding. He's going to go off of food until somebody ovulates.
Or at least get you like a decent sub-adult, you know. You could go a sub-adult where you're still not waiting, 3 years. You're waiting at least a year and a half tops, you know?
Right. So
what helped me my first year, I went and bought the feistiest females I could find, the most food-aggressive females I could find. And they ate. And they got there. And they calmed down. They're not that feisty anymore. You know what I mean? They still give me that look every once in a while. And their body language still says that they want to eat me, but they haven't tried to. They get it that I'm the one that feeds them. And like, I don't know, go buy them feisty females, because them feisty females will grow way faster than the ones that, are little picky eaters.
I have picky two eaters right now that I got that are same age. One's feisty and one's not. The feisty one is towering it by like 120 grams.
Yep, absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I have.
If you know anything about ball pythons, you want that feisty female. That's what you want.
I mean, they'll calm down for the most part.
Yeah, sooner or later they will.
I got this Mojave Hypo from Malaysia like a year ago, right? And he's like, have fun with her. She eats, but she's feisty. Picked her up, ate right away. Never an issue with her being feisty. Same with a couple of these other ones. And then it's like, oh, this one was fine. And it's, Satan. Like my blackhead yellow belly. I'm pretty sure, it's probably struck at the tub since we've been on here. I got this butter over here that I know she just ate, but she's wanting to breed, I guess. I don't know. She knocked the water over. She's cantankerous. But yeah, if they're feisty, generally they're going to eat. And that is nice.
Yeah. And I got that was something that I was fortunate to realize right away, that a feisty snake is a snake that's going to eat. So I bought those feisty ones. I bought them ones that tried to bite me, but it worked. It paid off.
Yeah, I mean, and you can also see like a crazy difference between one that these two were hatched roughly the same time, or November 2022, right? Female, pastel acid, double het clown pied.
Oh, hell yeah.
November 2022, baby.
Hell yeah.
Problem eater.
Right.
Tiny, right?
I love that acid.
Oh, it's awesome. And I'm so happy she, tested out heifer pie and is eating like every week now.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
But
everybody says they have problems with their acids eating. I have 2 acids over here. They eat like ants.
I fed her. She was here for a couple months. I fed her a mouse. She ate that, and then ever since then, whatever the hell I throw in there, she's eating. But this is a female from the same time frame that was hatched that never had a problem eating, and she's probably going to be ready to go next year. So that's what being able to eat. As a ball python, as a hatchling, you can grow them up so much quicker. They're thriving. Huge difference. The snakes are the same age.
Won't miss a meal.
Oh, this one.
And if you want to throw an extra in there, they'll damn near every time take it. So.
Yep, give them an extra one every once in a while. You got an extra rat? Don't be give it to that one. It's a garbage disposal.
Well, just because also I got so much rats now, but I also been on that new kick where if I open the drawer and see them pick their head up and give me that look, I'm gonna give you something now. It's like it's just adamant now to me, and I'm starting to see a little bit better like attitude towards them. I see a lot difference now. Me doing this little change recently, but it's kind of been cool. Like it's different, and now even the babies, all my hatchlings and stuff that I have that I've been raising up and stuff, they're looking like they're bulking up quicker. They're taking more meals in, et cetera, et cetera. So it's kind of nice.
Stingy.
Right. He said, "Don't be stingy.
Don't be stingy. Let them eat."
Yeah.
So let them eat.
So for the most part, I feed smalls.
Right
now, this is going to change, right? As I'm transitioning over to more ASF colonies, they're going to get adult ASFs. When I'm done with them. So there's a transition period, but there's some where I'll feed 2 smalls. Because for me, it is much cheaper, much more cost effective to make a bunch of small rats and to keep on holding back until I get like a proper size rat for, some of these bigger girls, I'll just feed them twice, 2 smalls over a medium, just because it's so much easier to produce at that level.
I don't feed anything bigger than a small. Even my 3,000 gram snakes, they get a small rat a week and they're happy.
Well, see, the way I look at it too is it takes that snake, like, I'd rather give a snake a small meal, and, well, like you said, a small rat every time, because in the day, like, it's gonna take that snake a lot less time to break down that rat than you giving it a huge ass. Like, think about our steak dinner. If we swallowed our steak dinner whole, it would take us weeks to get that out. Like us cutting up into pieces and eating bites of it, it's gonna break down a lot quicker. So it's the same. Right. Same, for instance, to me, it goes for same purpose with these snakes.
So I will say, like, I occasionally, sometimes something will happen in the rodent room where I have to call a colony, and they're like right when they're just starting, for Norwegians to be a breeding size. The male's generally too big at that point, but the females, they are, the right size, for some of these snakes to eat. Man, yeah, it's a good meal for them, but they're not eating the rest of the month. I mean,
right?
Because they are on their side. There's like, okay, yeah, you're struggling to digest that, making a big mess for me. But just and to be, smaller, much easier. Yeah, they're not gonna have that big old like look like they ovulated, thing in their gut. Yeah, it's just easier, much less stress on them, easier to digest. And if you're breeding, your own Norwegians, don't feed, the Rex rats, the hairless ones. These two messy groups.
I did that once, and I will never do that again. Never.
I bred all that out of my Norways, and unfortunately some other cool stuff from the pet side, but in switching over to ASFs, the smell, it goes down, is much better. The overall production, what's it like a 1.4? What's that going to give me? So if I do 4 1.4s, there's a 650 pink, something like that, a month.
You gotta think. Well, first of all, your more subadult females are gonna produce you around 10 to 12, maybe 15 babies. Once they get full size adult females, I got some females in there push me out damn near close to 20 in a damn near whole clutch, So but then again, I'm running like a 2 to 18 ratio in there too in each.
Right.
So 18 females and 2, so it's like spaghetti noodles. But you will produce. I would say you run a 1.4 with 5 colonies. You said how many colonies you doing?
Yeah, something like that.
5?
I have 3 right now, or 2, easily, and then we'll see about this other one.
Every week, I would say.
I'm getting 4.
20, 30, 40. 40 is 80. You should get close to 200 babies a week to every 2 weeks, pulling from there.
Yeah, I mean, I probably have 100 right now in just the 2 colonies I have.
Yeah, once you get it at a steady pool and rolling, that they're gonna just know that, like, what I'm getting at to point now where I'm learning is my ex breeders. Like, so when I see them get that full potential adult size, I'll start counting down the days and give it like, okay, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and you're getting fed off, because you'll see that big ex breeder start just giving you only 6 babies. They went from 15 to now I'm only getting 6. It's not worth to keep feeding that animal and et cetera, et cetera. At the end of the day, you want production to just keep rolling. So that's the whole purpose of it.
It's about, I want to say 8 months to a year is like the longest to keep a female, keep a colony in production, because you'll see that drop off. But just looking at the sheer numbers and, with that many colonies compared to like 4, Norways, 4 1.3s, that got me by, right? I added ASFs for the hatchlings, and I was doing well. But just the sheer volume that I can do now in much less space, much less smell, food and bedding might go up. I don't know. That hasn't happened yet because I haven't expanded. But I know I am cleaning the ASFs far less than I would the Norways, because a big Chihuahua sized rat smells a lot worse than
Yeah, you're gonna go through way less bedding. You're gonna clean way less. You're gonna have way less of a smell, and on top of that, you're gonna be. And like, I don't know, like I get so many people like, bro, ASFs take so long to grow.
I mean, it takes longer to get them established for sure.
Right. Patrick with North Florida Cold Blooded could come over to my house and he'll tell you, he's like, Justin's got them things growing so quick, so fast. They're freaking pumping. Now, his place where he keeps them, Sam does ASFs, he could barely keep the things even going and et cetera, and has so many problems with them, et cetera, that he's like, all right, I'll just stick to the Norways and screw the ASFs to this. I'm like, bro, like I have it. But to me, what I've learned, like what everybody tells me protein-wise, I go double the protein. And I just jack them full of protein. At the end of the day, if I could not give them seed and not give them Missouri and just give them protein, they're going to freaking still give me so much. And you're going to do a less aggressive rats. Your rats are going to be way nicer. Your rats aren't going to eat all your babies or want to eat each other. None of that, like it's a win-win situation for you to just go spend. So at the end of the day, like it's cheaper cost and cheaper cleanup, but spend a little bit more on food. So then you're winning on that back end on the other stuff, but take a little bit more money and spend a little bit more on food,
So what I have noticed is that if you are pulling stuff to feed from your ASF colonies, that animal is gone. The second you pull it out, remove it from the colony, and put it in the snake tub, if it doesn't get eaten, you can't put it back in because they will cull it right away.
They will kill it.
Another thing I learned with the ASFs is that, like when you think you can pull a weaned rat, eyes are kind of open, you got fur. All right, yeah, it's ready to go. You've seen it drink and eat on its own, kind of maybe, or it'll figure it out. You can't do that with an ASF. Bullshit. You have to wait until they're moving around. Like you can't pull them early. I did that the first time, and I had like 20 dead ones.
As long as them eyes are open, they're getting pulled. As soon as I go in there and all my little hoppers or eyes are open, they're getting pulled. I have no problems. They all grow up perfectly fine. I'll go in there right now and pull and show you. You'll be like, damn, you pulled that one. It grows fine. And really it is, I feel like it's the food. You
can see the difference in the ASF.
It's the food, though. It's the food. It's the food because those babies can't get to that Missouri that well. So throw you seed in the bottom. Throw you little granule, multi-grains, like the mealworms and stuff. Those babies are going to run up to it and eat that before the adults are anyway. The adults are going to want the bigger shit anyways up top, half the time. So it's just be smart with it. Like I have a few people tell me that, like, oh, I wouldn't pull them then, and I wouldn't pull them then. And I'm like, all right, let's see how I can do it. I pull them every one of my. I don't have them die in there. Nothing, bro. Nothing. And when it comes down to me, it's definitely food. It's food. Food.
When we're saying eyes open, we're meaning like very noticeable, not kind of like.
No. If they're Chinese guys look like they hit a ball, some reefer, no, don't pull them.
Eyes open, moving around. They're not huddled up on mom.
Right.
Where you can get away with that with a rat. Sort of pulling it a little bit early, but with ASFs, eyes very open, and moving around, not latched on mom. I have noticed that with a lot of mine, like I just did the food yesterday or whenever the hell I cleaned. I think it was yesterday. So I topped off the ASFs, and what did they do? Immediately upon having everything cleaned, they shredded a bunch of food to get it down. So all the food I put in there is now smaller on the ground. So I don't know if they're doing that because they know that their babies can't get to it, or they're just chewing to chew. But it's something I noticed that they will shred a bunch of food. Before you can leave, you just sit there like you would everything else.
I used to put blocks of wood.
Yeah, I would say definitely throw you like a little chunk of some wood in there. They love to chew. It'll keep them acclimated, et cetera, et cetera. But I was going to say, do you have bigger females in there with those babies? Because if you do, that's probably the females trying to nurse the baby and say, hey, look, here's you some food and here's some granules.
Yeah, they might be doing that because they're all over the place right now. I just pulled everything that wasn't weaned, fed it off or whatever, but there's still, like, I showed the picture, there's still got to be like 20 still nursing right now, and then like the other 3 females you didn't see are about to have a litter.
Heck yeah.
So it could have been just they were shredding all that stuff to get ready for that. I don't know, or being dicks. But you feed the cube.
Wow.
You're feeding the seeds, kibble, cat food, dry kibble, and and mealworms, other proteins. So
I do the multi-grains. I don't do
I gotta take my dog out.
I don't do no corn mix. I do a multi-grain mix. So I go to Tractor Supply and get a multi-grain chicken mix. It has all the grains in it for them. I do oats.
Is that like flock feeder?
It's chicken feed, but it's called multi-grain on the bag. It won't say the chicken scratch. You don't want the scratch. You want
it's not the like Liana crumble or not the crumble, the other one. It's not that one.
I'll send you a picture of the bag later. But I use that one. I'll go to Costco. You can buy a big bag of oats, dried oats, for like $5. I think it's like a 5-pound bag or something like that. I'll get that, and like I said, I'll do the bugs, the dried up bugs, and then of course I have the Missouri. But the main thing that to me is that multi-grain scratch. They tear it up all day long. They love it. The black sunflower seed they love, and that mealworm and stuff like. And what's great is like I'm not going through as much Missouri and spending so much money on Missouri because that grain and that bug mix is cheaper than me buying Missouri at the end of the day. So I'm still saving on money costs by giving them more of that than letting them. It's all around factor. It helps each other. But I was gonna say too is I do with a lot of my colonies is I keep at least like 6 babies, female babies in each colony and kind of let them grow up. So when it comes time to pull that X breeder, you already have other baby females in there that are about to be adult and ready to produce.
And they're already established in that colony. Even if maybe like you would grow up a male in there too. If you lose that male, now you're not losing that whole colony because you lost the original male.
The only problem with the male is I'll kind of wait a little bit longer with the male because the other adult male will try to eat that baby male because it's now competition for him.
Right.
So I kind of wait the last minute for that type of deal with the male. The females are fine because it's no problems. But the males, I've learned, like, I'll kind of wait till like, all right, it's about time. Let me keep one male in here and I'll watch that male. And if I need to pull them, I'll pull them and just sacrifice not having babies for a little bit. But either way, those women are going to be still pregnant. So they're still going to push you out for at least another month or two. So it gives you time, So it's all a cycle, just flipping and cycling,
And I've heard stories of the colony, in general, just, hey, beta male, you're in the corner. We're going to kick your ass. You're not allowed to breed with us.
Yep.
He's just sitting there watching, waiting, for his opportunity to get his genetics in there. But yeah, I think ASF is probably the way to go, at least for ball pythons. Because at the end of the day, when you can feed all your retired breeders off, if you're breeding Norways, what are you feeding those to? Boa, a blood, Burmese,
right?
You're just stocking them up in your freezer until you go, hey, Chris from BNS, hey, what can I trade you?
Need some big rats?
Yeah. All right, here's what I got. Knock off the price of some cocoa or whatever. So I think, on the overall waste side, it's going to be beneficial, even though I do have the blood and the boa.
Seriously? Just hit me.
Yeah, I it's just easier for me to buy the eventual larger feeders for them.
Right.
Rather than
those Norwegians get to be like Chihuahuas, man. It's like, what in the world?
Yeah, some of the males are freaking huge. And I don't think my bow is ever going to be big enough to eat them. The blood will be in 3 years.
Right.
He's still only like that, that big right now, taking smalls.
I got to go help them carrying groceries. Hold on.
All right. Well, we're about to hit 6 o'clock. I'm sure we got to eat dinner. It's in a nice rant, nice fun.
All right. Well, I'm bouncing out then. See you guys. Thanks for having me.
Later, kid.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Thanks for being here.
You had that pizza out the other night, and I know you didn't get your pepperoni, you got your sausage, but I'm thinking pizza tonight for me.
No, it wasn't even sausage. It was freaking beef.
Was it?
Ask me how I ordered beef. I thought I got pepperoni.
Pizza like that. First of all, just beef,
And then I checked. I'm like, yeah, I did order that, but I wanted bacon and pepperoni. I got the bacon and then beef. and it's not sausage. It's literally ground beef.
That's weird. It
wasn't like German. It didn't have anything like that.
The bacon gave me a salty thing,
I was pissed, but I still ate it. So at the end of the day, pizza for Pie Day, it was good.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, man, thanks for coming on. Thanks to the 10 to 15, whatever people that have tuned in, stopped by, however many it's been. Hopefully you guys learned something or were at least entertained. I probably will not be doing my show Tuesday as I'm going on vacation. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a pre-record, and then next week will definitely be a pre-record because I'm going to be in Kansas City and definitely not doing this. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Go enjoy whatever reptile other podcasts are later tonight. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.